Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October Montana Accessibility Interest Group webinar. It's nice to see so many people from um, in Montana and other states here this morning. George Kerscher is our guest speaker today. George has an amazing list of titles. I'm going to put a link to his vita in the chat for you. I will just mention that he is the Secretary General for the DAISY Consortium and was appointed by President Obama to the Institute of Museum and Library Services Board. He's just doing incredible efforts internationally to move accessibility and publishing through EPUB 3 forward around the world. So I'm really looking forward to your presentation, George. And let me just mention to all of you, if you have questions, George will come to certain slides where he will stop for questions. So be sure and you can either put them in the chat and I'll watch that chat and read those questions out when we get to the question slide, or you can just hold on to your questions until George pauses for them.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and there's 43 slides, and what I would like to do is speak generally about the various aspects of digital publishing and not necessarily focus on each bullet point in the slides. I cover the very huge field of digital publishing and try to give everybody at least a good, solid, high-level view of everything that's going on. And on some of the areas that are covered, I really know a lot. And on some of the areas, I'm familiar, but not necessarily the expert in that area. Debbie Gibson from IBM and I developed these slides for an IAAP seminar. What is that? That's the International Association of Accessibility Professionals. That was a paid webinar that people signed up for, and so that was the basis for the slides. So let's go to the next slide. So EPUB is, and I always like to start telling people that EPUB, the extension .epub, if you rename it to .zip, you can just unzip use unzip to look at all the files in there, and you'll see HTML and CSS and images and all the things that the publisher put into the package. So it's a distribution format that allows a single file to be distributed that aggregates a whole bunch of things that people want to put in the book. It is all based on the open web platform. So HTML, CSS, SVG, Canvas, MathML, all of the things that are part of the HTML are what we have. We hope, and we're trying very hard to make it the standard for all of digital publishing, and we're being pretty successful. Everybody knows about Kindle, and they have their own format, and they have the largest market share. But Kindle does ingest. Kindle Gen will take EPUB in. The problem is that when it takes the EPUB documents in, it converts it, and I wouldn't say trashes it, but doesn't present the information as the publisher originally intended. and it doesn't support things like tables and MathML or alt text. So there's serious problems in the Kindle format. I think they know that. It'd be great if they would support EPUB, but I don't know that that's going to happen. So we've got support for a lot of the in a lot of different platforms um, with EPUB, and let's go to the next slide. So ARIA is a very important part of the work we're doing as well, and we are looking at how we can add more semantics using the ARIA attribute. Oh, I forgot to smile. Synchronized multimedia markup language is also used in EPUB, and that's the feature that allows text and audio synchronization. And this is one of the things that the older DAISY format, it was famous for, where you could take a human narration and sync it up with the text, so you could see it and hear it at the same time. Next slide. So EPUB is widely adopted. The AAP is the Association of American Publishers. The International Publishers Association have all endorsed and are asking the publishers to go to EPUB. And what the publishers would like to do is to have a single file format that they could use to go into their distribution channels. So whether they're going to the Apple iBook store, to Amazon, to Google Books, to Barnes & Noble, through Como, they want to deliver a single file format instead of having to tweak their files for all the different reading systems out there. It is international in its scope, and what we have is that EPUB is really the only option in the Asia Pacific region. Korea has adopted EPUB, and all educational materials are required in the country to be available in EPUB. And because the presentation of the double byte characters and right to left reading and reverse page orders going from the back to the front, for example, all of those things are supported in the EPUB standard. So Asian Pacific is clearly in EPUB. So 5. So some of the readers' iBooks, and if you take an EPUB and put it in your Dropbox folder, you'll see the list of different reading systems you have on your machine that would be able to open it. And on my iPhone, for example, iBooks will come up, Leo, Barnes & Noble, I don't know what else. Vital Source will come up as well as one of the reading systems that I could open the book with. Google Play is another one. Okay. So I'm going to go to 6. So EPUB versus PDF. I would love to see PDF just go away. And IBM has announced, and they've implemented for the past 6 months, that they're distributing EPUB instead of PDFs. And one of the reasons for this move is because of the mobile web. Tablets, phones, everybody is moving, and screen sizes are different. And when you've got a PDF, you've got all kinds of problems with pinching and squeezing and scrolling and moving around to try to read the document, where EPUB being reflowable will just, or you change the font size, will reflow to fit the screen that you're on. And of course, the inaccessibility and problems with making PDF accessible is not something that you have in EPUB. So So there's another slide on PDF, and I'll go to slide 8. So we, so when we use the HTML5 in EPUB, we have the benefits of accessibility that we get from the WAI, the Web Accessibility Initiative. We get the benefits of ARIA as well. So all the work that's gone into accessibility for the web is captured and reused and repurposed in EPUB. And in all of publishing guidelines and standards, we harmonize with the WAI guidelines so that when you're producing something in EPUB or you're producing something for the web, the techniques for accessibility are the same. I think I'll mention one thing about semantics here. What we mean by semantics in HTML and in publishing in general is that you have elements that identify. Is everything okay? I just heard a loud beep. Can you guys hear me? You can't hear me.
Yeah, George, we can hear you just fine. Robert raised his hand, but I know we're coming to a question slide, so if Robert can hold that question or comment, we should be to that question slide fairly soon.
Okay, so so I forget where I was.
You were
just
talking
go to
about
that slide.
Yeah, you were talking about semantics and what it means, George. If you could,
Okay.
I would like to finish that thought.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so semantics is we separate the presentation from the content. And the semantics are important in the content because we know what things are. So, for example, a paragraph is marked as a paragraph, a heading is marked as a heading. And it's not just the visual presentation of the information. And in the past, some people would just create a div, a division in a document, and put a particular style and appearance, big, bold, and centered, but it didn't provide the semantics that this is actually a heading. And what we try to do and are being very successful with is incorporating all of those semantics in EPUB. And it also means that we have to go beyond what is natively available in HTML5. So, for example, a footnote and a footnote reference in a traditional published book that's, superscript 1, and that points to the footnote at the bottom of the page. And that does not exist in HTML5. So in EPUB, we add those semantics through attributes on the information in order to support the publishing industry. So, Robert, you have a question.
So, Robert, would you like to go ahead with your question? Well, I guess, let me just read the chat here. My microphone isn't working. Okay. Maybe you could get that in the chat while George continues, and I'll read that out, Robert. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, George, you want to stop here for questions, George?
Yeah.
Okay. I just was wondering if you could clarify, you mentioned that ARIA is important, and I'm not sure all of us know what ARIA is and why it's important here in EPUB. So maybe you could speak about that.
Accessible Rich Internet Applications, ARIA, is a part of, and ARIA 1.0 is an approved specification by the W3C. And it is primarily designed to provide additional information that's needed by assistive technology, for example, screen readers, that it provides more information about what an element is. And so, for example, we in EPUB are using ARIA role to extend the semantics. Chapters, section, well, there is section element in HTML, but there's no chapter, there's no term glossary, there's no term index, footnote, note reference. There's about 75 different types of things that we're working with the ARIA group to extend those semantics. Now, what's interesting is that we believe everybody, not just people with disabilities, benefit by these added semantics. So it's an ongoing discussion with the W3C and the ARIA working group to add these to ARIA 1.1, which is coming out soon. Other questions?
Thank you for that, responding to that, George. And Robert's written into the chat, George, the workflow for creating PDFs for Mini is primarily starting with Word docs. How does creating an EPUB doc from Word work, I think is what you want to say, Robert? My brief search suggested it's a little complicated. Perhaps there's a direct EPUB creation tool?
So there's good news and bad news, and I'm going to be talking about that in future slides. So I think the next slide goes into EPUB slide. No. So I'm happy to talk about that now. I don't know which set of slides it is, but so right now with Apple and the Macintosh and Pages, it supports creation of EPUB. And with iBooks Author 2.3 now, they allow, well, they've always supported EPUB in the creation of documents in iBooks Author, but now you can export to EPUB and distribute that EPUB any way you want. We're encouraging mainstream companies to support EPUB for, word processing type documents. And we'd like to see EPUB out of Google Docs and, of course, Microsoft Office. And I exchanged emails this last week with people on the Office team about this, and it's a corporate decision there where Microsoft wants to keep people in the DOCX world, and they think that protects their market share instead of supporting a royalty-free open standard like EPUB. So we haven't gotten there yet with Microsoft. We have made progress with Apple, and we're looking forward to lots of authoring tools in the future supporting EPUB, but we're certainly not there yet. The publishers have in their workflows, they might use Microsoft Word somewhere with the authors and things, but very quickly they turn it into a workflow process where they now support EPUB really well. I mean, the big publishers have have got it pretty well wired. Also, all of the conversion vendors out in India and the Philippines and everywhere else are fully familiar with EPUB at this point. And a lot of times publishers are using those services where they create their print book first and then go to their vendors for the conversion. The bigger publishers are using the digital version first, and then they go to the digital product, and the print InDesign is supported in supports EPUB output as well. But darn it, I wish we could get Microsoft on board, and I'm ready to fly over anytime they want. So, any other questions before I get to the
So Robert wrote in the chat, interesting, thanks. It's like the OER world would benefit from the agreement on EPUB outputs as well.
Oh, absolutely. We'd love to see it, and OERs are supporting. We are seeing EPUB there. We even see Microsoft Press titles and Microsoft support documentation coming out in EPUB, and I just wish they'd just do it right. And there's a fear out in the world that if some company says, okay, I'm going to make an authoring tool for EPUB, and boy, Microsoft then says, okay, we're going to do it, it just blows that investment away. So people are anxiously waiting to see what Microsoft is going to do here. And I think I have a prediction that 2016 is going to be the year we see the masses being able to produce EPUB, where anybody could produce an EPUB. But you also have to pay attention to the accessibility of the document, and it's very important to create the right structures using named styles in order to get the correct output you want. Other questions?
Robert says thanks. There are no other questions in the chat, George, and I see no raised hands. So I think we can move on.
Okay, so this is the slide 10 about Readium, R-E-A-D-I-U-M. So when we're talking about the digital publishing world, you have to talk about the standards, the authoring tools, the reading systems, the entire ecosystem involved with publishing. So Readium.org is an open source effort, and I'll be in New York next Wednesday at the Readium face-to-face meeting to develop tools that support EPUB 3 rendering. This is not an authoring environment, it's for reading systems. So it is nonprofit. There are membership fees. They're fairly small. It is open source, but there's licenses as well for the content. And let's go to slide 11. So we've got a lot of members in Readium, including VitalSource, although VitalSource is not using the Readium code as of yet. IBM is heavily involved in Readium. Intel has joined. Adobe has joined. And if you launch digital editions, that's Readium code that they use for delivering digital editions. Benetech and Bookshare is members of Readium. So is Learning Ally, which is the new name for Recording for the Blind. And there's NYPL, New York Public Library, is a member of Readium as well. And There's some very interesting developments there with what is called Library Simplified and Reading Simplified. And this is work being sponsored by IMLS and other groups developing reading systems for the library industry. So that's a lot of fun. And New York Public Library is hosting our meeting next Wednesday. So go to slide 12. So there's essentially three different sets of products from Readium. One is the Readium JS, which is reading in a browser. So you would run this inside Chrome or Firefox or whatever, and the reading system is running inside the web browser, just like Blackboard Collaborate is an application running inside your web browser right now. So that chunk of reading system, that branch of development is focused on reading in the cloud. And then the other development is the SDK, which is designed for applications. So instead of running inside a browser, you would install this on your device or computer and run that application. And companies will take that code, brand it with their own logo and things, and distribute, like Adobe Digital Edition. Kobo uses Readium code as well. So going on. So I think the Chrome extension seems to be working best of all of them, and but we're working on trying to get broad support. I think I covered most of that. Slide 14. The licensing, there's information there about the Readium licensing. Announcement we were not able to make when we first did, Becky and I did this presentation, but it's public now, is we've opened in Europe the European Reading Lab, and it's in Paris, and it's focused on Readium developments and EPUB promotion throughout Europe, and it's funded by publishers and the government in Europe. So that's a really fun new development. We do believe that the developments will be moving faster. And one of the things that the publishers need is a way of protecting content. DRM has been a part of digital publishing for a while, but it's been dominated by Adobe and Amazon, and what is being developed there is a low-cost mechanism for providing security in the documents without going crazy with, Fort Knox type DRM. So going on. So there's some features in Readium that are supported, media overlays, and we and Daisy are looking at audiobooks in using Readium and the media overlays, and of course full text, full audio synchronized. And Learning Ally is using Readium and as a product that's out called Link. And that is in Chrome, it's on Windows, I'm not sure all the different platforms it's on right now, but that does full text, full audio presentation. And that's limited to for use by people who are registered and signed up with Learning Ally, who are blind or print disabled and serve the Chafee Amendment. Okay, so let's go to 16. So, so in the future with Rhedium, and we'll be supporting 3.01 and 3.1, and also supporting the LCP, the low cost protection that is being developed in the European Reading Center. So moving on. So this is where Becky was presenting a video showing the Rhedium interface. And this presentation was an hour and a half before. I'm going to move on. You can, yeah, here's a slide 18 about hosting a Rhedium reading system on a web server and allowing people to, and putting documents on your web server and allowing people to use the web interface to get at that information. So in this application, it would not be for offline reading, it would be for online reading, but you could implement this more easily than um, the download um, and trying to support all the different reading systems. Do we have questions?
George, I have a question. I'm able to post this PowerPoint presentation on Montana Accessibility Interest Group website. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, you
Oh,
can go ahead and do that.
okay.
The one without Becky's name on it.
Yes, that's this version that I'm sharing right now. I just wanted to mention that because the links that you're covering in this presentation will be accessible when people open the PowerPoint presentation. So I just wanted everyone to know they'll have access to all those links. And I also want to ask, George, why do you think 2016 is a breakthrough year for EPUB?
Well, I think we have the breakthrough in publishers, but we don't have the support in people personally creating EPUBs. It's the publishing industry, the workflows, that's there. We're getting EPUBs. All the books in the iBook store, except for a few PDFs, those are EPUBs. The Vital Source is promoting EPUB all the time in higher education. But we really good way, except for iBooks Author and Pages, we don't have an easy way for people to create. You can do it if you're good at tinkering around, and if you're good at HTML, you can create a series of HTML pages and then use the open source tool EPUB Check it'll actually build the EPUB for you. That's how I create EPUBs when I'm doing it. I just create HTML pages, put them all in a folder, and EPUB, and create the table of contents, and then EPUB Check will build that book for me. It's just too much for the common person is the problem.
And you think the technologies or the adoption by say Microsoft or whatever, that you think that will, I was wondering why you think 2016 will be the time when there might be movement on that.
We need either Google Docs or Microsoft to announce support for EPUB, and the rest of the industry will follow suit. And I'm confident that that's going to be. I've been really good at predicting what's going to happen in technology in the web, but I've never been really good about saying when things are going to happen. I've been off by years and years sometimes in predicting when it's going to happen. But I think that all you need is one of these companies, and they have the technology in their back hip pocket. Microsoft demonstrated their EPUB 3 authoring in Microsoft Word to us. So we know they've got it. They just don't want to release it because they want to keep people locked into DOCX. And I think that mentality has to change. So.
Great. Well, I hope you're right, George. 2016 is just around the corner.
That's right.
There are no questions in the chat, and I don't see any raised hands, George. So shall we continue on?
Okay. So we've got, the next is all about the authoring side of things. So I think we've covered this 20, and here's more about Pages and iBooks Author. And you can go to the EPUB site. There's a link to the different solutions that exist. And also MathML in EPUB is very, very important. And Aaron's presentation, was it last month on, no, 2 months ago on math, was just terrific. And we've got native support in EPUB for MathML, but we still have the issues of authoring. And by the way, the publishers have MathML in their production processes right now. The big ones. The problem is with the reading systems. So I'm sure that when we meet in New York with Readium, one of the things we want to focus on is MathML support. Okay, so slide 23. So I almost hate to introduce this topic because it might confuse people. So EPUB is the standard, and you can have profiles, and the educational publishers, Pearson, Wiley, O'Reilly, have started a profile. It's still EPUB 3, but it adds more semantics for it. And that's an initiative that they're hoping that they'll be introducing much richer documents into higher education using EPUB. This also gets into testing and analytics and building those kinds of features right into the EPUB document. And we've seen a lot of this in learning management systems, and they want to integrate these kinds of features directly into the EPUB document using this profile. So I'm going to go slide 24. So it's building on EPUB 3. It still is EPUB 3, but it adds more semantics to it. Analytics, caliber, and slide 25. I got another slide here for questions.
I don't see any. Oh, Kari Goen from Portland State University does have a question in the chat, George. Future questions. At this time, for faculty working on Google Docs, what would be a recommendation for accessibility regarding EPUB documents? Would offering the same document in different formats be something you recommend?
At this point in time, I would, first of all, I think PDF is, if you're offering the document in PDF, you really should make it available to students in some other format, whether it's Microsoft Word, HTML, or if you could get it into EPUB, that would be great. But absolutely, PDF should never be the only format that you use.
And Kari wrote, thank you, that's very helpful.
Okay. So what's our time?
We are at 10:42, George.
Okay. So unless and you can interrupt me if there's another question.
Okay, I don't see any more in the chat right now, George.
Okay, so I want to introduce the idea. I'm on slide 26. I want to introduce the idea of the inclusive publishing industry. Because when we talk about publishing, we've talked about the standards, we talked about reading systems, we talked about authoring tools. There's a lot of different players. There's the tech companies, there's the publishers, um, there's publishers of all different kinds that are involved in it. So the trades, education, journal and magazines, comics and manga, and disability-focused organizations, so Bookshare, Learning Ally, National Library Service for the Blind, universities and colleges, governments are doing publishing, and tech companies and standards organizations. All of these companies are involved in what I would call the inclusive publishing industry, and everybody focused on trying to solve these problems associated with information is it's important to get everybody on the same page and working together. So 27. So the publishers' concerns are that there is no agreed upon level of accessibility for digitally published documents. For example, if you've got a cute little graphic, but it conveys no information, the publisher likes to put it in the book, and it's ornamental, it provides no information, but it's a graphic sitting there. And another graphic might be a very complicated, comprehensive chart or diagram, some kind of graphic that conveys a lot of information. What does the publisher have to do? And the publishers are saying, tell me what I have to do to make my documents accessible. They are really want to know. They are engaged. They're wanting to make their documents accessible, but how far do they have to go? And this is the development of what I call the baseline for born accessible documents. And it's probably different for novels than it is for college textbooks. For example, MathML is something that is absolutely essential in documents that have math content. But what is the baseline? I would say the text correctly structured, the whole document with semantically correct information, the full heading structure, all the paragraphs, all the text of the document has to be there. That's one of the fundamentals in the baseline. And the publishing industry has never been told, okay, what is it that I have to do? They've been told they have to make their documents accessible, but they don't exactly know what that means. And so we're embarking on an initiative to establish a baseline, and we're getting a lot of support of it. One of the things that is important in this is that we have to be practical in terms of asking the publishers for things that they can actually do and deliver, and not work on a theory level of what they could do. So in terms of graphics, one of the very practical approaches is that are all ornamental images as alt equals quote quote, and with an aria role equals presentation. It's just presentational information. There's no information. But if the graphic is conveying information at the baseline, what they need to provide is alt text for that. If it's described in the surrounding text, there's a caption that is sufficient. Great. you don't need to put alt text in. But if you need more information, you need to put in alt text. The next question is, what do you have to do if you can't? Alt text allows you to put 145 characters in that alt text. What happens if you need, you just can't explain what this graphical content is in 145 characters? At that point, we have to come up with mechanisms to provide enhancements for that graphical content. The publishing industry is not in a position at this point in time to add all that information that a student may need. And that information may be different for a low vision user, a blind user, a dyslexic user. It could be different for various groups. And this is where we need linking mechanisms to go out to resources that would provide additional information. So descriptions of graphical content, Learning Ally and Bookshare are doing this now, and tactile representations, flat, traditional tactile drawings of things, and of course now the innovative 3D models of things. So if you've got a chemistry book and you've got molecules there, you could actually have links to a 3D STL printer version, and you could print out a tactile of that molecule, and you would be also providing a tour, a description of how do you tactily explore this molecule. And what everybody is saying is that, oh my God, this is not just for blind people. A lot of people are tactile learners, and giving them a molecule that they could feel would just be terrific. So, but we don't expect publishers to be doing this right now. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So in the baseline, we're saying it's got to be Pub3 content. You've got to have all the text. And this slide describes a lot of the things I just said. So let's carry on to 29. And the publishers that are developing, that are using EPUB right now can publish right out of the box and make that publication accessible. And that's happening with all kinds of books that I get from the iBooks library. But we've got to be able to establish that baseline, exactly what it is, and then move the bar higher over time so that we don't set this low bar that we can meet today and it really doesn't meet the full needs of the students, and the technology will support more things in the future. So moving. So I got another question slide, number 30. How are we doing with questions?
There's no question in the chat, but I would like to ask the audience to raise their hands if they have ever read a book in the EPUB format. And I'm asked because the Universal Design for Learning book that's published by CAST.org, you can buy it either in paperback or in HTML, which is free, or you can purchase the Pub3 version, and it's not very expensive. And by far, for me, the most user-friendly format was EPUB3, and I compared all three of them. So that book you read with Kobo, and that's been really a good example for me to share with other people. And I see, I don't know that I see any hands up. I know Aaron's used EPUB3. But anyway, I was just curious if I think it's really important to go out and look and see what an EPUB book looks like, because all this makes a lot of really good sense, what you're saying, George. It's a better user experience for everyone.
Well, that's what the publishing industry is trying to develop, is that great user experience. And when the iPad was introduced, Steve Jobs introduced it before he died, and going through the different features, and he said, "And the books we're going to deliver are EPUB." So the iBooks from day one from Apple have all been EPUB, and Barnes and Noble is EPUB, and Vital Source supports EPUB. And it's funny. I was on one of the higher education lists. I don't remember which one, and I posted that Vital Source is accessible on all platforms. And somebody said, okay, they used Vital Source and they got a book, and it was a terrible reading experience. And what ended up is they didn't know that they were reading a PDF. And because, Vital Source will present a PDF, but there's just very few accessibility features in the PDF. But when they get an EPUB, then their reading experience is terrific. So it's, a lot of times, what I'd like to see in the title of this presentation that we did was, putting an end to PDF and replacing it with EPUB. And that's really what I'd love to see happen. Let's go on.
And Joanna Hunt has a question for you, George. What's the difference between using EPUB 3 for books versus simpler documents that teachers may be creating and publishing, if we're thinking forward to EPUB 3 replacing PDF?
So if you're creating a 2-page document for your students, it might, in the future, it might be just as easy to send them an EPUB version of that, but it might be just as easy to give them a Word document or something like that. I hope that it would become just as easy to give them an EPUB. And once they have the EPUB, then they'd be able to, they'd be using it in a reading system instead of reading it in a word processor. And the reading system would provide things like table of contents navigation, the ability to leave bookmarks and annotations in the book, and doing it inside a reading system. We look at the future of these annotations and teacher shared annotations, where the teacher distributes, they use a single book for the class, an EPUB, and then the teacher also provides annotations that all the students could see. And then students sharing annotations with each other, and it becomes a much more collaborative environment. And you've got quite a bit of that right now on some of the platforms, including Vital Source. So I would see that as being the benefits when we start to use all the features of EPUB. And this is going to be evolutionary for quite a while. It's not going to develop and then stop. It's going to continue developing forever. We know that people are going to be putting rotating 3D images in their books. They're doing it now. Publishers are doing it now in EPUB, using WebGL because you can do it with HTML, and EPUB is just an encapsulation of HTML. So I see teacher-produced content as being very important moving forward, especially for larger documents. So I'm going to go to the next slide.
Okay, George, and Joanna says, great, thanks. And George, it is 10:57, just just
So
so you
I'm
know.
going to go down to, there's the, uh, let's go to, I've talked about enhancements, slide 35. I've covered that. Okay, so how about going to slide conformance and certification? So EPUB Check is a free tool out there right now that all the publishers are using. And this is something that is maintained by the IDPF and very important in order to every distributor now, iBooks, Barnes & Noble, all of them, absolutely all of them, require that an EPUB document pass EPUB check before it gets ingested into their distribution system. And this is a point at which if we could add accessibility checking to the document, automated and manual, we could get a lot of benefits. Um, 39, slide 39, highlights epubtest.org, and you could go there now and look at the various reading systems that we're testing. There's probably 75 different EPUB reading systems there that are being tested. And Vital Source has, one on every platform. The Amazon is there, the Google Play, all the different Androids, the Kobos, there's many of them on there. And we do have a book on accessibility, a fundamental test for accessibility that allows us to do a comprehensive test of the reading system and see what it can and can't do. So we have that working group going, meets a couple times a month, and Aaron's been contributing to that, and it's a very important act. It's a pretty complicated portion of the website, epubtest.org, and what we're going to be doing is publishing a rating for a human readable, a web page that's easy for people to understand about what reading systems are good and what reading systems are not accessible. And I think I'll take any more questions, and we're really close to the top of the hour.
So Joanna, did you want to ask your other question?
Sure, I can. It was really just a follow-up to the previous question, asking whether it's fair for us to say that reading systems are considerably out in front of the authoring tools in terms of the authoring environment catch up. We don't. It's unlikely that we'll see an increase in the wide adoption of EPUB among sort of the everyday content creators. If we're thinking outside of the publishing industry.
I think we have to have Google and Microsoft in the game with EPUB before we see, unless an entire new player comes into the game, where they say give us 5 Word documents and we'll create your EPUB. But even self-publishing people are creating their own EPUBs these days. But I do think it won't reach the masses until the most broadly used authoring tools support EPUB.
Great, thank you.
Try to get there. Cross your fingers on 216.
Yes, we're going to remember that date, George. And I see no more questions, and we're a couple minutes past the top of the hour. Do you have any other comments you'd like to share, George?
Oh, boy, the whole publishing industry is committed to the accessibility, and we've never seen that before. It was always okay, we'll let Bookshare or Learning Ally make the accessible version, but right now the publishing industry is keen to have their documents available at time of publishing in EPUB in an accessible form, and it's really wonderful to see the publishing industry um, supporting that. So for the formally published materials, I think we're making great progress, and to have it become ubiquitous for everybody, we need it in all of the tools. That's about it.
Thank you, George. And Joanna wrote in the chat, thank you very much. This was great, and I concur. Thank you, George, for your time and all this hopeful information. I'm calling it hopeful because I think we have a lot to look forward to here. George will be at CSUN in March in San Diego, and I know you're doing 3 presentations, or you have 3 proposals in, George. So for those of you that may be attending CSUN, you'll be able to hear George speak even further, and that will be in 2016, so maybe there'll be an update by then, George. So thank you. And Kathy from Montana, Texas, thank you, George. And Robert Squires says this was excellent, George. Thanks. So, George, we really appreciate your time. We'll be posting a recording of this session on the Montana Accessibility Interest Group website, as well as George's PowerPoint presentation. So if you want access to those resources, they should be there sometime next week. So, George, thank you again. It's just been great having you with us, and we look forward to staying in touch and possibly having you come back and present to the group in a year or so on any updates in EPUB 3.
Terrific. Love to do that.
Great. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good Friday and a good weekend.
Bye-bye.